merit nearby charity or sila and all that. Now, after he passed away, he went to the great hell to suffer for a very, very long time. A lot of people don't understand human beings. If you lead a very ordinary life as a human being without doing evil, you will, after death, you will most likely be reborn as a ghost. A lot of people don't understand why. The reason is because in the 5 destinations of rebirth, 2 are happy destinations and 3 are woeful destinations. The happy destinations are heaven and human being. The woeful destinations are ghost, animal and hell realm. So because we are born as human beings, we have the good karma to enjoy life. So as we live every day as a human being, we are using up our blessings. So it's very important to replenish our blessings. But a lot of people don't know the Dhamma, so they don't do that. So they just keep on enjoying their life. And at the end of their lifespan, they would have used up a lot of good karma. So they do not have enough blessings to come back as a human being. So they will naturally fall into the ghost realm. And then if they have hurt other beings, then they will be born in the animal realm. And if they have done a lot of serious evil, they'll be reborn in hell. So that's why it's very important that people do a lot of merit. 3.24. At Savatthi, sitting to one side, King Pasenadi of Kosala said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, where should a gift be given? Or where should charity be given?" And the Buddha said, "Wherever one's mind has confidence, great king." I think in the Pali Text Society translation, they said, the Buddha said, when we were asked where should a gift be given, the Buddha said, "Give wherever you like." And then the king said, "But Venerable Sir, where does what is given become of great fruit?" Then the Buddha said, "This is one question, great king. Where should a gift be given? And this another. Where does what is given become of great fruit?" I'll stop here for a moment. So the Buddha is saying the first question and the second question are two different things. They're not connected. But actually the king meant, where should a gift be given? Is where should I give so that I can get a lot of merit? Then the Buddha said, "What is given to one who is virtuous, great king, is of great fruit. Not so what is given to an immoral person. Now then, great king, I will question you about this same point. Answer as you see fit. What do you think, great king? Suppose you are at war and a battle is about to take place. Then a Khattiya youth would arrive." Khattiya youth is a warrior caste. One who is untrained, unskillful, unpracticed, inexperienced, timid, petrified, frightened, quick to flee. Would you employ that man? And would you have any use for such a man? And he said, "Surely not, Venerable Sir." Similarly, the Buddha said, suppose a Brahmin youth arrive, or a Vesa youth, a merchant class, or a Sudha youth, a laborer class, who is untrained, unskillful, unpracticed, inexperienced, timid, petrified, frightened, quick to flee. Would you employ that man? And then he said, "Surely not, Venerable Sir." What do you think, great king? Suppose you are at war and a battle is about to take place. Then a Khattiya youth would arrive, who is trained, skillful, practiced, experienced, brave, courageous, bold, ready to stand his place. Would you employ that man, and would you have any use for such a man? "Surely I would, Venerable Sir." The Buddha says, similarly, suppose a Brahmin youth came, or a Vesa youth, or a Sudha youth, one who is trained, skillful, practiced, experienced, brave, courageous, bold, ready to stand his place? Would you employ such a man? And he said, surely I would, Venerable Sir. Then the Buddha said, so too, great king, when a person has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, no matter from what clan, if he has abandoned 5 factors and possesses 5 factors, then what is given to him is of great fruit. What 5 factors have been abandoned? Sensual desire has been abandoned, ill will has been abandoned, sloth and torpor have been abandoned, restlessness and remorse have been abandoned, doubt has been abandoned. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha says, this person, if you give to him, the merit is great, is a person who has abandoned 5 factors. These 5 factors are sensual desire, ill will or anger, sloth and torpor, restlessness and remorse, and doubt. These 5 factors are called the 5 hindrances. These 5 hindrances envelop us so that we do not have wisdom. What 5 factors does he possess? He possesses the aggregate of virtue of one beyond training, the aggregate of concentration of one beyond training, the aggregate of wisdom of one beyond training, the aggregate of liberation of one beyond training, the aggregate of the knowledge and vision of liberation of one beyond training. He possesses these 5 factors. Thus, what is given to one who has abandoned 5 factors and who possesses 5 factors are of great fruit. As a king intent on waging war would employ a youth skilled with the bow, one endowed with strength and vigor, but not the coward on account of his birth, so even though he be of low birth, one should honor the person of noble conduct, the sagely man in whom are established the virtues of patience and gentleness. One should build delightful hermitages and invite the learned to dwell in them. One should build water tanks in the forest and causeways over rough terrain. With a confident heart, one should give to those of upright character, give food and drink and things to eat, clothing to wear and beds and seats. As for the rain cloud, thundering, wreathed in lightning, with 100 crests, pours down its rain upon the earth, flooding both the plain and valley. So the wise man, faithful, learned, having had a meal prepared, satisfies with food and drink the mendicants or monks who live on alms. Rejoicing, he distributes gifts and proclaims, give, give. For that is his thundering, like the sky when it rains. That shower of merit so vast will pour down on the giver. So this is the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is explaining to the king that the highest merit is to give to a person who has gone beyond training. That means the Arahant, an enlightened person. Here the Buddha is talking about abandoning 5 factors and possessing the 5 other factors. Now the first 5 factors are, if a person abandons, then he has attained to concentration, samadhi, development of the mind. But that is not necessarily an enlightened person, But the second 5 factors, if he possesses, then he is an enlightened person. So the Buddha finally says, a wise person should do a lot of charity and encourage others to do charity. Then the merit will come back to him, just like the rain raining down on the earth. We're going to give one more sutta. This is the last sutta in the Kosala Samyutta, in the chapter 3. The simile of the mountain, 3.25. At Savatthi, then in the middle of the day, King Pasenadi of Kosala approached the Blessed One. The Blessed One said to him as he was sitting to one side, "Now where are you coming from, great king, in the middle of the day?" "Just now, Venerable Sir, I have been engaged in those affairs of kingship typical for head-anointed Khattiya kings, who are intoxicated with the intoxication of sovereignty, who are obsessed by greed for sensual pleasures, who have attained stable control in their country, and who rule having conquered a great sphere of territory on earth. What do you think, great king? Here a man would come to you from the east, one who is trustworthy and reliable. Having approached, he would tell you, "For sure, great king, you should know this. I am coming from the east, and there I saw a great mountain, high as the clouds, coming this way, crushing all living beings. Do whatever you think should be done, great king." Then a second man would come to you from the west, and similarly a third man from the north, and a fourth man from the south, one who is trustworthy and reliable. Having approached, he would tell you, "For sure, great king, you should know this. I am coming from the south, and there I saw a great mountain, high as the clouds, coming this way, crushing all living beings. Do whatever you think should be done, great king." If, great king, such a great peril should arise, such a terrible destruction of human life, the human state being so difficult to obtain, what should be done? So here the Buddha, when he talked to this king, he found that this king was so intoxicated with being a king. He said, "We kings, we enjoy life. We are greedy for sensual pleasures because we have a stable control of the whole country." So the Buddha saw that he was too complacent. So the Buddha brought up a simile. The Buddha said, "Suppose 4 men from the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, came running to you and told you this high mountain is coming and crushing everyone in its path. So when it comes to you, you will also be crushed under the mountain. So you better do what you think is best." So the Buddha asked him, "In that case, what do you think should be done?" Then the king replied, "If, venerable sir, such a great peril should arise, such a terrible destruction of human life, the human state being so difficult to obtain, what else should be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds?" And the Buddha said, "I inform you, great king, I announce to you, great king, aging and death are rolling in on you. When aging and death are rolling in on you, great king, what should be done?" Then the king said, "As aging and death are rolling in on me, venerable sir, what else should be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds? There are, venerable sir, elephant battles fought by head-anointed Khattiya kings, who are intoxicated with the intoxication of sovereignty, who are possessed by greed for sensual pleasures, who have attained stable control in their country, and who rule having conquered a great sphere of territory on earth. But there is no place for those elephant battles, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in. There are, venerable sir, cavalry battles fought by head-anointed Khattiya kings. There are chariot battles, infantry battles, but there is no place for those infantry battles, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in." I'll just stop here for a moment. Here the king is saying, "I have a great army, I have great big strong elephants and fast horses and soldiers and everything which I can use to fight battles. But when death, aging, sickness and death come crushing in, rolling in, you cannot use all these soldiers, all these elephants and all that to fight it. In this royal court, venerable sir, there are counselors who, when the enemies arrive, are capable of dividing them by subterfuge. But there is no place for those battles of subterfuge, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in." Let's stop here for a moment. Here he says he has counselors. These counselors or advisors to the kings are Brahmins. These Brahmins are well known for their mantras, what we call Chao, Jiu. And these mantras are very powerful. They can work miracles and sometimes can harm others. So he says, but when old age, sickness and death come rolling in, even these Brahmins he cannot use to help him. In this royal court, venerable sir, there exists abundant bullion and gold stored in vaults and depositories, and with such wealth we are capable of mollifying the enemies when they come. But there is no place for those battles of wealth, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in. So here he says he has a lot of treasures, a lot of wealth. If enemies come, I can use the wealth